Hey YouTubers, 95 Speed GTA. Today I'm going to show you how to replace your outer tie rod end. Well, on pretty much any car. This vehicle that I'm doing it on is a 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan that I recently replaced the rack and pinion on, and the old tie rod ends are in really good shape. So, first of all, I want to start off by saying that before you take anything off, let's just say you just have to replace the tie rod ends and you don't have to replace the rack and pinion. What you want to do is you want to crack this bolt right here loose first, because this is actually what holds I guess the alignment and the tie rod end in its place. So once you crack this loose, then what you're going to want to do is underneath this steering knuckle, which is right here, and that's what the tie rod end sits in. There's going to be a bolt underneath it like this, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to loosen this bolt until it comes out, and then after that, this kind of gets pressed in when you tighten the bolt. So if yours is original from the factory, it's it's going to be in there for however old your car is. So once your tie rod end is in there, what you're going to want to do is right here on the knuckle, not on the tie rod end, but right here at the edge of this knuckle, you're going to want to hit with a hammer or a mallet. And once you have this loosened up, you're going to bang it a couple of times, and what it should do is it should pop up. That'll let you know that all the pressure has been released from it, and you just take it off, move it off to the side, and you go about removing the tie rod end like this. Once this is cracked loose, you take this and you count the turns. Now what this does is it helps the guy that's going to be doing the alignment once you put the new one in, because you do have to get an alignment done once you mess around with tie rod ends like this. So what you do is you grab it, and it's in the 6 o'clock position. And for those of you who don't know what I'm saying, is you just, when you want to judge on what position a certain part is at, you go about it as if you were looking at a clock. Let me just get this, oops, okay. As if you were looking at a clock. So right now it's at a 6 o'clock position, and you want to count the turns. So this is how you do a turn. This is a half a turn, and once you go back to the 6 o'clock position, that's one full turn. So you go, you count 1, 2, 3, and you just keep counting until it comes out. This particular side was 20 turns. So what you want to do is once you put the new one on, you count 20 turns in, drop it back in, secure the nut, and that's how you change an outer tie rod end bolt. Sometimes you may have an issue with these tie rod ends. This one was actually frozen into the old rack. So there's a couple of ways you can go about this. One, you could spray some penetrating catalyst like PB Blaster or whatever on the threads of your tie rod end and let it seep in, and hope that you can remove that nut and this will come out freely. Or best thing to do is make sure no lines or anything plastic is in the way. And if you have a torch, you hit this end with the torch for about 10 or 15 seconds, and it should come off very smoothly. So don't be surprised if it gets jammed. If it gets jammed, just do what I said. Try the penetrating catalyst like WD-40 or PB Blaster, or use the torch. The torch seems to always work with stuck bolts and suspension parts like this. It actually, when I used the torch on this, it just slid off. I mean, not slid off, but it was like really easy to remove. So that's how you remove a tie rod end on any kind of vehicle. And if you got a Caravan, well, this is how you do it. So now I'm going to put the tie rod on, and I'll show you how to, well, I know I explained it, but I'll show you how it works. Here we go. We're at the 6 o'clock position. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Put it on, and you bring the nut in, get it snug, then take your wrench, which I don't have with me now. The size could vary. This is actually a 19mm nut. Tighten the nut, secure it, put the bottom nut onto the tie rod end, and well, that's how you replace a tie rod. YouTubers 95 Speed GTA.